Hi everyone, Metaphysical Mama. I'm gonna do a little something different today. I'm not gonna, do something different every day, right? I got this cool stuff I'm gonna kind of share with you in the background, and I'm just gonna converse for a bit before I go outside, hopefully, unless I last too long on here. It's Saturday. I hope everyone's doing well. July 13th. For future visitors or different time zones. So how's everybody with this heavy energy? It's sorry, I'm moving stuff around. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm messing with stuff. I should just leave stuff alone. Anyhow, I got this beautiful pyramid from a friend of mine. I think 2 years ago, a year or two ago. So that's nice to have out here. And this is my little rock form I usually make there. So how is everyone? I myself have my nerves are out. Is anybody on here? No. I'm hoping you can hear me okay. Well, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. So yeah, my energies have been, I've been definitely tired, but my spine has been really sore, and I have pinched nerves into my right side, my scalp, on my arm. So I don't know if anyone else, I'm trying not to complain, but I'm only saying it because if anybody else is experiencing intense nerve, pinched nerves or flare-ups, or, any debilitating sciatica, things of that nature, just know it's a lot of energy that we're bringing into our vessels, our bodies, and transmuting. So it's like we're sucking it in like a vacuum, kind of like siphoning. If anybody's ever done that or experienced that. So I've just been a lot of ice, trying to get a little sunshine. It's my little owl friend there. Take a salt bath, listen to your body, take care of you right now. That's how I pulled a card for us before I hopped on, and this was actually at the bottom of the deck. 4 popped out. I was hoping just for 1, but 4 animal spirit cards came out, and this was what was on the bottom. So I 44. Oh, we got it's a pretty stable number. It's foundation. Together, it's an 8 numerology. I'm going to read out of the book in a second. And we'll start the energy off, I guess, with that. To kind of place that Panther spirit over this whole reading, and it's 414 as I said that. And anyone that's watching, and we'll extend that out and keep passing that like a wave, keep passing the torch. Because just a vibration, a thought, a feeling that we send out in the positive helps that much more than when we're in a negative feeling or a negative thought. How powerful is a thought? More powerful than anything. And when we're aware of that, we start surfing our waves a little bit more consciously and gracefully, I'll say. due to the fact that we're aware of the consequences more so of what it does when we don't behave that way. You know, if we choose to be mad and angry and then we choose to carry dis-ease with us and discord, and we're poison and we're sharing it and spreading it all over, which isn't cool, you know. So I hope everyone is this is rough stuff. As they say, it is it's a narrow road or passage, and many are called, but only few heed to the call, or few are called, but even fewer, make it through. However they say it. My brain is like scrambled egg yolk today, so that's another. I noticed that this morning when I woke up. It's like I sound like the end of the cartoons, like I was like, oh brother, I can't even talk today as soon as I woke up. So I've been sitting pretty silent most of the day. I did some laundry and I don't know, I've just been doing a lot of meditating, a lot of going in, which is key right now. We're in between the eclipses, so going in where it's dark and safe and not being apologetic for having to do so. Take a bath, take a nap, take time off, take time and space for yourself so that you remember how to heal yourself and others. Then it'll just be a trickle effect, domino effect. The same as it goes the other way. One bad nut spoils the whole bunch. Well, one bright diamond shines pretty bright in a big pile of ash. So never forget how important, how strong, how special, how powerful you are as an individual, and we are never alone. Always remember, even that we can't see pain until we're really in it, right? Until we're really, unless it's an external wound or something, we get cut or broken bone or something. But, a lot of the time we walk around with our pain emotionally, mentally, spiritually, including physically, and we don't really complain or think we don't have a right to complain or take care of ourselves. We forget. So we're just handing away all of our energy. It's like going to fill your tank of gas, your car with gas. Going to fill up your tank with your car. Oh my goodness. Your car with, fill up your tank and, having a hole in the tank and knowing it and filling it anyhow and driving and just letting it leak. It's like, there's a leakage in the core right now. I don't know, where did I see that earlier? But I feel that. And, us as empaths are learning to create healthy boundaries, and those that have been so strong mentally and had to be so strong and not have, say, empathy or feelings, which doesn't mean that they don't. It just means that they've had to have that shut off for so long that they've forgotten. And when they try, then it's like we feel funny when we do something that we haven't done for a long time, or we're told makes us a pussy, or whatever. right? For, having feelings or acting on, an emotion other than anger or excitement of when something's about to get done or an accomplishment. How about accomplishing healing ourselves rather than running to doctor or others, for friends, churches? They're great. Everything is wonderful if we use it as, for what it's for, to gather with like-minded folk, right? Like-minded people, beings. But once we start to identify ourselves and label ourselves as whatever it is we're participating in, that's where we can tend to start to get stuck, lost, start to carry, right? Carry that belief as a identity, or the word again, belief, as such a strong, strong identifier, I'll say. Okay, identifier. And it's part of us, but it's like my name. Here I have Metaphysical Mama as my YouTube name. But my name is Sarah. And my family last name that I was born into, right, is Spica or Speaka, depending on which relative of mine you speak to. And then I'm also a mom, so I also carry the mom name. And anything that I've done as a employment, I at one point in time could carry that as a title, right? So we carry or identify ourselves with many, many, many names, and that's not to mention the, movies we have and books and comics and any other, songs, nursery rhymes, etc. Any other character that has been created, we identify with them for a reason. They're parts of us. But I don't have to hold that as a solid, right? I don't have to become a solid ice form of statue of that and be only that. Or to have somebody else tell me that's what I need to be or have to be, or why. Make me feel guilty because I'm not really putting much energy into that part of myself presently. Because either I've moved on from that, doesn't mean it's not part of me anymore. It just means right now I'm in a different part of my life, right? In a different season. I'm not in that mode right now, right? Computer mode, or, pie a la mode. So, pie 314. And pi reverse in the mirror, if you write 314 and flip it in the mirror, it spells pi. So many things are so misconstrued, and when we allow others' fears or others' misinterpretations or others' jealousy and anger and rage, that they've then, gotten others to, right, be part of their squad, team, gang, blah, blah, etc. Which is, we can say anything. Again, if we take anything as our label and identifier, oh, that's what I am. Okay. You stuck yourself, and then anything that gets blamed, anything that has any derogatory thought, remark, feeling, you're going to feel and not know where that's coming from. Because that's how energy works. Unseen energy, vibration creates form. So when we use words, which we all do constantly, whether in thinking form or verbal, they count. You know, when they're kind of floating around, that's like more like, you know, that's what we call the world. It's swirling around. It's not really, we didn't accept it yet. But the thoughts that we do grab right onto, like little feathers, like the little notes flying around, right? You know, the ones that we grab and then eat and swallow, right? Food for thought. So those words are spells or codes, however you want to look at it, whatever makes more sense, right, to the individual. It's like whatever makes sense to you, apply it. Don't let, you know, we're coming out of the game of someone making us feel bad or guilty because we don't get it their way or comprehend it, or we're not doing it their way. You know, we're not manufactured, like, you know, we're not all supposed to be the same. You know, it's like even every Cheerio in the box looks a little different, even though they're all round. I mean, right? I don't know. I don't know. So there's no two that are completely alike. So it's important to embrace who we are as an individual and love ourselves and care for ourselves and listen to ourselves, to that internal child that's talking in past the heart chakra, in between the navel and the spine. That would be the in-between. I think I put that on the title as well. You know, the space between, or the in-between, between the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, and the root of the spine. So in the in-between there, that's where we could say, right, that the demiurge, right, because that's what holds the baby, right, the liner, the lining of the uterus, which is dark there, and in between, it's in between, right, it's in between the baby and the mother, first of all. The sac, I don't know how this came, right? Well, I do, but yeah. It's also, you know, the soul and the solar plexus, that it's our soul lies there. That also can represent like baby Saturn, baby and the Capricorn, which are also the fathers, you know, Alpha, Omega, so big but also small. So this is really the divine masculine and feminine rising in balance together, you know, all together now, like literally. And to be really appreciative, because again, that's what I was saying before. Those have had to not have empathy, we look at them as mean or evil, or they don't get us or understand, but they've been protecting us for a long time and haven't been able to have those things turned on because they've been protectors. So a protector can't be having, emotional feelings or getting tied up with somebody that's emotional, like, oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Wait for a few seconds. Somebody dies, you know? Um, and then who has to carry that guilt? So I understand that that's a really hard lesson to learn, and to be, I guess, appreciative of and show love rather than anger and retaliation. Because if we do that, then we're only it's like a turtle that's trying maybe going to come out of its shell, but if it's even having the thought of coming out, and then as soon as it pokes its head out, that big black panther that's in the picture is like, raw. It's going to put its head back in and hide again. Um, Sometimes when we've been such big, bold protectors for so long, we don't think we're worthy of being loved. Or it just feels very funny. It's like being naked. Which, although some people may feel comfortable doing so, right, walking around or want, more of a naked environment, and others, again, depending on where, when, and who you're with, can be very uncomfortable to, be naked in front of others, obviously. Because otherwise everybody would be walking around naked. You know, So interpretations of words are so important because there's so many. And when we get caught up in the fear, control, matrix, the fear, we just start spreading disease and poison, and we end up contributing to the very thing that we want to, prevent and avoid. And prevention is really most key, rather than continuing to just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And then once we get sick or once something happens, like, oh, but then we accept that. Well, I'm confused. Let's start accepting how beautiful, powerful, amazing, and like wonderful we are, and how much together, when our thoughts combine, are flipping those negatives that come up from the past timelines. They're coming up so we can witness them. They're coming up, right? Like labor pains, or like throw up, or like vomit, like a burp, coming up like a storm, hitting us. And when they come, it's like the timeline convergence. When they come, we get to see, and it's like, oh, and we don't want to take so much control, because then that's acting like the ones we don't want to act like. We want to allow ourselves to see it, witness it, but lightly let it be what it is, so that we don't grab bits and pieces and eat it and not be aware that we're doing so, and then wonder why we don't feel so great later. Because the key is to allow them to appear and come up, and then what does not feel comfortable or what doesn't seem fitting, right? Allowing it is like untying a nut, kind of like untying your shoe. Just let it untangle and become free, right? Let it pass away, say, die, right? In rabbit quotes, I'll say, rabbit ears. Let it pass away into the water. So it comes up from behind on the left side, and then just like kind of like let it go. And remember to breathe. And those are the moments we have to allow ourselves or others time and space. We're processing something, whether it's old or new or borrowed or blue. We're taking it. It's coming to us for a reason. So We're untangling, quantum entanglement, we'll say. We're, freeing energies that have been locked up or stuck and blocked within time and space because they're locked up within ourselves. It's really all just emotions and thoughts that we all avoid. That's the 1% that creates the world. The 1% that controls the world. It's our own miscellaneous thoughts and emotions, right? Energies in motion that come flying up like the pyramid, and as above, so below. There's one underneath it, upside down, just like our bodies. So the negative energy comes up, it comes out the tops, and then it fills up like a cup, and it has to keep filling up like layers. So each layer, we get more positive, more positive, more positive from the pyramid, more positive, more positive, more positive, more positive. But the negative has to come up first. The negative comes up through the bottom. And that's what keeps us alive. That's what makes our blood boil. That's our Mars, right? Our runner. It's our running program too, our RAM. Also metaphysically, Apollo, the sun. Again, going back to the soul, the solar plexus. And it's twins. There's two, a black and a white, a positive and a negative. It doesn't mean one's bad. It just means you have to balance both. You have to feed both wolves, the black and the white. And then there's always a gray circling, the variable. So when we balance the three, we have a trinity. And then we have positive, negative, variable. Then we have a whole. Then we can swallow that. And then that's we don't even have to name it. That's just, we allowed the emotions and the thoughts, the feelings to calm down and either just pass away, pass on by, and allow them to just be. Just like we would when a storm comes. We can't control it. It's like beautiful out. All of a sudden we get like a thunderstorm, passing thunderstorm. We can't control that. So it's the same, but this is an internal storm that we can't see coming necessarily. It hits us. So when they hit, that's when we're having labor pains, right? The pains of labor. So we have to remember to breathe and take ourselves through so that we don't get caught up or stuck in the storm or in a thought or a feeling that may, first of all, not even belong to us. But also that could, then attach and grow into, manifest into, right? We'll say an ugly monster that then that's why we're all walking around so cranky and aggravated, and those people that are all the time. Now it's due to not taking time for due processing, right? To allow those things to calm down, to allow the mind and the body and the soul to relax again, which, as keep practicing, and it'll become more and more easy, even when because others' energies, it's like we could start getting the hang of it, and then we can go see somebody, work or relative or what have you, friend, a phone call could come and, that person is negative or has a negative vibe, and it wears off on us, or it can, hit us like, we're having a great day, and then all of a sudden, wham. And so, again, that can take a little more practice. It's just a little bit more focus to remain calm and go inside of self, right? Where it's calm and you know yourself. So we get the messages clear when we remember to do that. When we go into a panic and get off frizzle fried and worry, we scatter. So we're scattering our thoughts, we're scattering our emotions, and then we just fragmented part of ourself. So it just got lost in part of that storm and swept away with it, so to speak. So it's just comprehending energy. It's a combination, everything, like the master trinity, right? Or trilogy is spirituality, math, and physics. So the three together, not one any more important than the other, are, in balance, are amazing. They're amazing anyway, and balancing them is a fun game we're all getting to play together, experiencing, waking up to ourselves. We're like the Munchkins in the Wizard of Oz, all of us. We all play all parts. Just depends on what moment you're in. But it's like we're all waking up. So it's like rubbing our eyes and, being a little afraid, but peeking out little by little, right? Opening the present layer by layer, and when we remain present in our moments, life is a gift like that. It's like opening the layers one by one, and sometimes they could be a trick gift, or not seem like a gift, but it depends on how we look at it. Everything is how we look at it, like the term, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. There's so much to that. Way more than just making lemonade. So, sorry, I think I seem to have I didn't know if I threw my blunt out. That couldn't be. What I did with it. Anyhow, so let me find my little book. I'm going to read the Panther here. Is there anyone? Oh, you hear a weird noise? Really? Let's see. Is that any better? I think I may be a close relative. Cool, that's better. Thank you. I'm still playing with my microphone. Oh, well, yeah, that's nothing new either. Underwater. That serves its metaphysical purpose at the moment. Everything's water. How are you, Chip? I hope well today. I was just getting into, let me see. I was just talking about how to transmute a bunch of negative energy. And while doing so, I seem to have lost my handy dandy blunt. Bored? Yeah. Don't be bored. Boredom's a choice, but I hear you. Oh, I found it. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Yeah, I get a little kind of bored too. Like bored with like the day, or just bored with the mundane, daily, every day. Or a little of both. Yeah, the patterns and the cycles, the routine thing is pretty boring, I'll say. I think that's kind of what I was just talking about. Yeah. Um, it's like to start looking at things to remember how powerful, how powerful is the thought, and it's more powerful than anything. And when we start to hold on to, gain, what's the right word I'm looking for? It's like learning to drive a car. When we start to gain more, stability and confidence, because we're getting thrown some new, not new, we're just remembering. So it's kind of like wiping off some layers and catching a whole bunch of other people's shit. But think of them as like bonuses, like in a video game. When we clear other people's shit, it's like we get like ding 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 ding. So we get like bonus life, or bonus like extra tools, or get to like jump, quantum jump, or so it depends on how we look at everything. And the goal, I think, to the new game, so to speak, which is same as the old game, is just seeing how we fly, how we surf, right, in the water, how we swim underwater, and when we're like, oh, la-di-da, and then all of a sudden the storm comes and hits us, whether it's a mental storm, somebody else's verbal vomit bullshit, or, or our own, I'll say insecurities, or something that pops up or comes up, Jack in the Box, which, what I was saying earlier, I don't know if any of my words got heard, or I just sounded like a goldfish, as usual, underwater. But where the solar plexus is, the in-between, that's kind of like where the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, the lining of the uterus is what holds the baby. And, well, it's also shaped like a ram, which, Capricorn, we're about to have the lunar eclipse. Yeah, that dude. Yaldabaoth. Yeah. Demiurge. Yeah, which we all play all those parts. There's an OG, right? An original entity of such energy. Yeah, well, and well said. He runs Uranus, there's but that's like, yeah, it's like Uranus, Saturn, Neptune. So the dreamer, Joseph, the dreamer, who never was respected, thrown down the well by his brothers, same as Yaldabaoth, right? Like, kind of the afterbirth, we'll say, gets thrown out after the baby's born. So feeling abandoned, Yaldabaoth, which now we can all relate to feeling abandoned. So it's to relate to the feelings, more so than to look at, say, the individual that was originally created from the word. The word created the energy of the entity, and then the energy carries on. It's like a volume dial, or color spectrum, both, all different shades and layers, of any energy or name. Any name is an energy. So it's recognizing what that energy is, relating to it, and then we kind of like grab the string of it, and then start to smooth it out. It's like we start to smooth out the timeline in quantum form, because it's coming to us, because like attracts like, law of attraction. I'll answer your question in one sec. And then we get it, it comes to it like Da Vinci Code, pizza pie. So you get a little piece of pie and you gotta start kneading your dough. Too cold, it won't rise or stretch, or you gotta put it back in the fridge. So it's temperate. Sorry about still in my mouth. So it's really about learning how to surf the energies of the entities, or that come to us, finding out what those are. Best I could say, Gnostics, any Gnostic books, regarding like the Numa List, if you've ever heard of that, or the Nag Hammadi. What else? I got it's hard for me to. There's so many different names and labels of things. So for me, it's hard for me to sometimes dig into remembrance of who said what, or who creates what, or what belongs to, so to speak. What about John Lash? Well, I think everybody's legit to some extent. So it's as a people, the human nature, because sometimes get carried away with our beliefs, which that then is what creates the said matrix. The matrix is our beliefs. The word belief, right? In the middle of it, there's a lie. Right? And every belief or believe, same thing. There's a lie. So you want to be, but you don't want to be that lie, that's in the belief. You want to allow it to be a tool and something that's if I have a meal during the day, I ate what I ate because that's what I was, sometimes we feel like eating certain things and sometimes we don't each day, right? Or each moment. It's you feel like eating pizza, you feel like eating a salad, you feel like eating soup, you feel like eating meat, and you're not eating meat, you're eating, depends on how, right, what kind of person, what we feel like. So same with anything that we're going through in a stage of life. We're going through something to gather knowledge. We're hunters and gatherers, gathering knowledge, eating a meal. The word, if you look up the etymology of words, that really helps gain a lot of knowledge and deep insight. Because we a lot of the time also just accept which nothing right or wrong. It's just we can sometimes cling to them too much, and then we mold it into ourselves. We use it again as an identifier. That's what I was saying earlier. It's part of our identity. Then fight for it. It's only meant to. It's like stepping stones. There's stairs. It's meals. Sorry, that's what I was saying. The word, the word time means food. So, and it's like meal, MEALE, like old, I don't know which, again, writing, but it's again, meal, meaning, allowing time and space. When we slow that down, then we all have more clear radio frequencies, clear stations. Our body is each a radio station and a vessel, or a ship, a boat, a body, a human body, right? An avatar, And our human body isn't the only body that we, own. That's the land that we own, the 9/10 of land that we own, the earth. But we have an emotional body, right? Whether we want to say mental body, or mental faculties, right? But we have spiritual body, a celestial body, an astral body. I know there's more, but but we get caught up a lot in the physical, and that's the material world of Satan. Which of course we're going to always use material things, but again, it's like just like a computer or a car, or it's like, how are you using the device or the vehicle, or or your body. What about Lucifer? Well, they're all relatives. Well, okay. Well, it's tricky, right? Because again, nothing is one singular thing. But yeah, Lucifer and Sophia are one and the same, you could say. Along with Venus, which is the middle octave in between. The higher octave of Venus is Neptune. So Neptune, Saturn. So yeah, definitely part also Saturn, Satan. Also like Santa. So it's like right when you're good, yay. If you're not, but the whole "you're good, you're not" thing, that's the patriarch. But it still it applies with this interpretation of what it's like. If your parents go away and are like, okay, have a few friends over while we're gone, but then you decide to have a huge party instead and like wreck the house, and then be like, well, they said we could have a few people over. So it's like when someone takes something and stretches it too far, right? Like that pizza dough. So the whole idea, really, I mean, from my point of view, Luciferianism is because it's like it feels right. The thing is, Venus, the love of Venus, isn't the same as the love that humans call love. People, the human mind, interprets love as, relationship, marriage, wife, almost possession. That's not love. Love is unconditional. And love is a vibration. So the vibration of love, that's what Venus is. It's where we use discernment, where it's in vibration or it's not. So that's why to thine own self be true. It's like if it feels right now, then that's because sometimes we may have to go through something dark or scary, or it just whatever it is, but it's just about the vibration. A feeling is which is energy. Yeah. Well, but there's an artificial moon, and then there's the real moon, which is the dark moon, which is a quarter moon. That's why Isis, that's always the crescent, the bull's horns. It's like a thumbnail. Great granddaughter of children of the light, which lights, the stars were created, then other things were created. And then that's where that light came from, right? The light of knowledge. So thought is really taught, and she is supposed to teach knowledge to the children of the earth, being the human mother. But some jealousy and envy, etc., kind of blocked the vision and the view there. And so Adam being put to sleep, etc. Well, if someone's asleep and someone else chooses to sleep with someone that's asleep, and production of said seed is not going to be of its most potent, purest nature. It's going to come deformed because it wasn't created with pure love. If you ever look into, have you ever heard, well, like Rex Bear from Leak Project, the Leak Project, he's great. He really, his YouTube channel is called the Leak Project. Here, the Leak. Me? I must be in another galaxy. Oh, yeah, story of my life. Yeah, I never have luck when I try to record. I no matter what I try to do. If I stood, who else is great? Sun Soul Astrology. That's Maruma too. She's awesome. The Leo King. I like, yeah, me too. These are, yeah, good listeners. As far as like just connecting with some other like channels and outlets. Here, put it away. I'm gonna be doing like a series and start reading this, like going little by little. So I'm excited to. So yeah. Is that you again? I was gonna show you quick. I have a couple. I don't know if you saw. Did you see that I just showed you a book. So yeah, I'm going to be reading a couple books on here, kind of like a series to start delving into some, book knowledge and, just having some fun with all of our thoughts. And, it's really just all about going through and allowing and sharing and, going back to, I guess, Luciferianism, that's kind of what that is too, like allowance for other people to be who they are without having such harsh judgment. The Satan part wants to come and judge and knock down and promise and then take away from, pretend he didn't do it type thing, or, so it's about people being accountable for how they coast their emotions and their feelings. And if everybody took accountability for that and took time and space to allow that for themselves and for others, then that's when we start really getting somewhere. And that's where the whole we get farther by being still. By being still in those moments, we allow things to come up, right? The emotions, the feelings, the emotions, it's energy in motion. So we can say Eve or Thoth or the divine or the feminine. That's why people are afraid of feeling. Led misguides others sometimes, sure, because everything has its duality. So someone can be an angel on one side. Everyone's a learning process. We're all blooming flowers, so to speak, or coming out of our cocoons or shells, being reborn. It doesn't matter how old we are, whether we're 20, 40, 70, in this linear timeline right now. We're allowing beliefs to kind of fall away. Know much about Hillary Clinton's rituals. I know like the coquette thing and the frog, and I don't. She must need some. Well, there's quite a lot of that crap like swirling around presently. For show. And again, that's just people using right words and their energy. And does it go to other extremes where people actually do like ridiculous rituals and sacrifices? Yup. But any word, right? Word is what spelled. We have to spell a word. Oh, really? Lovely. Well, that's an interesting rumor. But you know, I don't. I don't. I don't really get shocked with humor. Yeah, I don't know. You're throwing stuff at me. I'm not. I'll have to look into like same with like if you. I don't. Yeah, here we're exchanging. So I will. I'll. I'll have to take a little slide down that shoots and ladders and look a little into that. I don't really have knowledge so much on that. Yeah, I don't know. Well, see, now we both got something new to look into because yeah, I don't though that's new stuff for me to look into. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. um, in a second, I can let you know what I get. Like, I don't know if you saw before. I was showing you some books, but honest shit, like I just got this cool book, The Perfection of Yoga. It's like a really little thin. I like these little books from a friend, and I have this is Jacob from the Bible, also, right? Yakub. It's the father of mankind, which would also kind of represent, say Adam. So I'm going to read that book also. And you were asking about Luciferianism before I let go. I don't know if you saw, but yeah, this one. I'm going to be reading this like within the next day or two. I'm going to probably do it on my iPhone so that I don't have to worry about not being able to hear me with this microphone. Because my microphone don't seem to like me, or the internet waves in here. Yeah, if you want to, like, yeah, maybe I'll try to be better. I'm not awesome at sticking to a schedule, so I try to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be on whenever, and it's not. I'll figure it out. 30 minutes every week or something, or 30 minutes every 3 days, or I don't know. So we got Panther Spirit number 44. And thank you for coming. So is this for a female? Well, yeah. I guess that's like right the big secret that's like what? Because Mother of God, right? Mother of God, the womb. It's where everything starts. And yeah, Statue of Liberty has to do with Apollo and Artemis and Prometheus. I know I've doubled into that a little bit, and how it's facing the twin, because that has to do. It's not just female. It's androgynous. So that has to Lucifer goes into the twin flames, and see, well, yeah, it's quite a. Yeah. um, you know, uh, the G. Yeah, right. Original gangsters. Well, like Blue Blood. gangsters, the police force, the Blue Bloods, the Freemason Church, Vatican, and then say that's like a timeline, right? One on either end, and then see there's like a leprechaun hiding down at the bottom of the well or the bottom of the rainbow with a pot of gold. That would be the Mormons. So the Mormons would also kind of be representative of Yaldabaoth's clan, and he'll be down there pretending like he don't know nothing about either side, and he's just collecting the 1/10 of everybody's stuff down there, so to speak, if that made sense. And Masons, right? Free the sons. So they're really originally the sons of Eve. So, but like everybody have different lessons to learn. But it's, for individual to know to get that out when, there's a reason, I guess, they wear an apron. They have their own. I mean, I tend to look at it a little different, I'll say. But, if one wants to cut their own off to, I don't know, there's a lot of deep stuff there. I don't know. That's like Skull and Bones too. Gmail logos, Masonic apron. Yeah, right. Well, Masonic symbols are on everything. That's like same with the runes. So Masonic ain't any different than the Vikings. They put sigils and runes on everything. The caduceus is on every hospital. What's the snake from the garden? Like warlocks hang out in hospitals or whatever. Vampire. Not but they take blood donations. Diabetic, they take the blood. Then they're like preying on people to die. That's all part of the, fun. Put stuff in our food, and then they pretend things are going on, and then they pretend they have a cure. Same with the news and the media. When something was meant for something, but someone turns it into shit, then it becomes, shit. And then we need plumbers. Like my pops. Who's, anyway, but my dad's name is Lutz. So, yeah, and then, Apple, Eve, the apple, since we're going now into the freaking, the snake, the caduceus, right? That was stolen. That's for healing. But when it's used to pretend you're healing, just to take bodies and blood to remain undead, well, the undead are something different than the living and the dead. And the undead are the 1% that run around like they're the boss, but they're really just big boss babies. Like, it's like big guys running around with tempers and diapers with cigars in their mouths. That's my image of it, and then the bitches are like little, what do you need? What? But we're trying to almost do it not so sarcastic. It's like we just kind of do it with the energy, and if we do have to do it with poison to get a rise out of us to then react, like an atomic nuclear bomb, and the balance. And it's all about the balance, baby. Without judgment. It's like I see things and it's okay. We all have days, we all have moments that we fling shit, or that we're the receiver of catching it, So again, it's just like relating to playing both parts. Like, it's like, okay, I do that too sometimes. So, baby universal law, but it's man created, like hybrid, So it's no less respect, ramble. So, Panther spirit, reclaim your power. Oracle message. It takes courage to face challenges, and right now, Panther spirit is here to say that you are braver than you think. Now is the time to take a risk and to step into a different aspect of your being. Speak as you have never spoken before. Act as if you have always dreamed you might have the courage to act. Love fearlessly and fully, and expect to feel the adrenaline rush as you are initiated into a new, braver, bolder self. Panther Spirit says the time for dreaming about what you want to do is giving way to that first courageous act toward reclaiming your Panther Spirit and power. Your new identity may feel strange at first, but you have what it takes, and your soul wants this. Be bold. And the protection message is, the moment when there is no risk whatsoever will never come. So follow the urging of your Panther Spirit within and look your fear in the eye. That kind of goes into the Luciferian trait. And to thine own self be true is because we can't just keep waiting for things to not be there. The fake boogeyman, the fake monsters. It's like when the time comes, something else, or expect it to turn into something else, or so that's important. Yeah, look at stare down your fear, and it will retreat and make way for your courage to fill you head to toe. Perhaps you are afraid you resist the challenge before you. Every part of you, no matter how dark it may seem, has a light quality. Verbal blah, 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 babble. And it was like right on about kind of exactly what we were just saying, what me and Chip were just having in this dimension. Isn't that weird? So yeah, right? Anyway. Echoes. That was a cool reading, and I really, really like that. So keep the Panther Spirit with you. That's a nice protection message. It's about being bold and balanced, really. Not, reclaiming our power isn't about doing it with brute force. It's about a clear mind, and clear the thoughts, and have clarity by being at peace, being able to be at that calm. And then we can deal with the chaos when it comes because we know how to surf and navigate through those waves, storms, etc., etc. Let's see. This is called The Language of Letting Go. This book. I was in AA for a long time. Went excellent, just like anything else. It's just presently I don't. I'm not in need of. I'm just in a different spot presently. So anyhow, but I still carry on knowledge and etc. And completely boast, love, and respect, appreciate that program, everybody in it, and the struggle everybody is going through, has gone through, and keeps fighting through. So much love to all of you, because that's like one of the most hardest demons there are to fight. And that goes from emotional damage that creates spiritual disease, and then that's where addiction comes in, which everybody has an addiction. Just because some people are using drugs or alcohol doesn't mean when people for us to be condemned. The people that have been sucking off of us for however long, there's a reason. It's like people give up hope, because no matter what they try, being a scapegoat ain't easy, because or forgotten about. And we can relate that to parents or gods or anything. So the positive gets ignored until it's needed, it's wanted until no. So anyway, I did go on a little rant. And 12 and 12 too. 12 steps, 12 traditions also equals 144. Alcoholics Anonymous also can be like archangels, AA. So there's a lot to be said with that. I used to always say, if everybody read that book and used that knowledge, the whole world would be a better place. That The 12 steps is like the handbook for life. That should be taught to every person, period, in an education system. And literally, then we would all have ability to know how to get through our emotional and thought said trauma. It wouldn't become as much trauma because we'd have ability and the tools to get through it, rather than because it was minused from our knowledge and books and etc. So they created hospitals and, cemeteries, which no more cemeteries. Anyway, so I'm sure you already had the ability to read this if it came up on my screen, but so this is actually from a codependency book, though, The Language of Letting Go. And this was one of my favorite books. It's a really cool one. So I didn't read this yet. I wanted to read it together. And so Saturday, July 17th reading is what it is. The Language of Letting Go. And God, as we understood God is subtle, but he is not malicious. That was written by Albert Einstein. And then the reading goes on to say, recovery is an intensely spiritual process that asks us to grow in our understanding of God. Our understanding may have been shaped by early religious experiences or the beliefs of those around us. We may wonder if God is as shaming and frightening as people can be. We may feel as victimized or abandoned by God as we have by people from our past. I'm so glad I read this, because we were just talking about Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, and again, which is all about feeling abandoned. Trying to understand God may boggle our mind because of what we have learned and experienced so far in our life. With this power, greater than myself, my understanding has not grown on an intellectual level, but because of what I have experienced since I didn't understand God. What I said. Talk about duality. God is real, and God is everything. It's anything you can, God is everything around us. So God is real, loving, good, caring. God wants to give us all the good we can handle. The more we turn our mind and heart toward a positive understanding of God, the more God validates us. The more we thank God for who God is, who we are, and the exact nature of our present circumstances, the more God acts in our behalf. Law of manifestation. Creator, benefactor, and source. God has shown me, beyond all else, that how I come to understand God is not nearly as important as knowing that God understands me. Today, I will be open to growing in my understanding of my higher power. Reclaim your power. I will be open to letting go of old, limiting, and negative beliefs about God. No matter how I understand God, I will be grateful that God understands me. That was a pretty badass way to cap the vid there. And I hope you all have a blessed rest of your hours of your day today and there on forward. Keep on keeping on. Just keep swimming. And yeah, sounds like I was swimming in a lot of this video from what Chip said. So if you stuck around and kept swimming with me, I very, very much appreciate it. And, one of these days I'll have an internet-friendly zone. I don't know. All right, peace, everyone. Thank you so much. Blessings. One love. Mwah.